I was recently forwarded a math problem as an example of what students following a Common Core curriculum are forced to deal with. Rather than stay with traditional methods, teachers are being forced to teach strange procedures with unproven educational outcomes. Even worse, Common Core has an agenda of indoctrination, trying to drive a wedge between parent and child. We can see an example of this indoctrination taking place in this very problem, the use of the Hindu-Arabic number system. As a first step in solving this problem, let's replace these foreign numbers with real numbers. That's better. Now at least it looks like a real math problem. It's still a word-based math problem, but it's not too hard once you take it step by step. Let's look at the first part of the problem and draw some pictures to help visualize what's going on. The problem describes two sizes of boxes of paper clips and some loose paper clips. When doing the math, we can keep track of the numbers below the picture for each category. Let's look at the rest of the problem. There's an important hint in the last sentence. It doesn't say, what number of paper clips does he have, but instead, could he have? This implies that there is not a single correct answer, but instead, multiple correct answers. That also gives us permission to guess a little bit, as long as we stay within the boundaries set by the rest of the problem. So let's guess there's one box of 10 paper clips and see how that works out. It says he has 3 more boxes of 100 paper clips than he has boxes with 10 paper clips. Since we started with one box of 10, to meet this requirement, we should also start with 100 and then add 3 more hundreds. It also says he has 2 fewer paper clips left over than he has number of boxes with 100 paper clips. Since we now have 4 boxes of 100, we'll start off with 4 loose paper clips and then remove 2 of them. I'll just cross off the last 2. So now we have an answer, 412. There are 2 main objections you may have with this answer. Those of you raised on the so-called new math might say, that's not the correct way to write 412. It should be CDXII. Although this newer form may be more compact to write, basic arithmetic becomes much more difficult. You have to carefully keep track of which digits imply addition and which digits imply subtraction. Besides, I think it's important to respect tradition and not to jump into fads that are only a few centuries old. The traditional form was good enough for Charlemagne. It should be good enough for us. A more significant objection is that since we reached this answer by guessing, is the answer even meaningful? That is, how correct is an answer if you can just make one up? In this case, a correct answer is still meaningful because there are also incorrect answers. Some guesses lead to dead ends. For example, let's guess there's one box of 100 paper clips and see how that works out. This leads immediately to a nonsensical result. There's no way to add 3 boxes and still end up with only 1. So any answer with only one box of 100 paper clips is wrong. There still are right and wrong answers. Let's look at how children are expected to work this problem. The overall process is similar to what I've already described, but with some needless complications thrown in. This time, let's guess there are 2 boxes of 10 paper clips, so we'll put down 2 tally marks. Next, we copy the tally marks over to the box of 100 paper clips and then add 3 more tally marks. Finally, we copy the tally marks over to the loose paper clip and then cross off 2 of them. I understand that manipulating these tally marks is easier to explain to children than real arithmetic, but obviously it would quickly get tedious for large numbers. Now we count up the tallies and convert them into the foreign numbers. This is usually indoctrinated into school children fairly early, so I'll doubt they'll have difficulty with this part of the problem. But if you ever need to check their homework answers, there are conversion tables and apps on the internet that you can use. Well, let me stop here before I get too caught up ranting about the inane math concepts they teach. Negative numbers? As if you could possibly have less than nothing.